All this SunBet ZX10 Masters Cup action is energized by Red Square.
Welcome to the East London Grand Prix circuit for the fourth round of the SunBet ZX10R Masters Cup. A picturesque circuit and everybody's favourite, except for today, because the wind is absolutely howling across the track, and that affects these Kawasaki ZX10s greatly. Brian Bontekoning, he loves the track and he's made the trip down to East London. He has missed a couple of rounds this year, but great to see him back at the track. Last minute adjustments to some of the bikes. They'll all be running exactly the same Bridgestone tyres, front and rear. One of the most professional series in the country, but let's catch up with local man Travis Nordia.
Feels a bit strange to be up in the front, if I'm honest. I've been struggling at all the other tracks. It's been my first time there, so it's really nice to be at my home circuit for a change, and I'm stoked to be on the front row. Have a good start and try and be up the front at the end so I have a chance of winning.
Let's catch up with championship lead on the Stefanini Stocks bike, Graham from Mira.
Yeah, look, the wind is very bad today, but it's been like this the whole weekend, same as yesterday basically. So we've got a very good setup. We've set it up around the wind. We've done the gearing. The times are good, so yeah, we are leading the championship, and this is one of my favourite circuits. So we're hoping to pull a little bit more of a gap, that we've got a bit of a buffer going into the last two rounds at Swartkops and Red Star, which aren't two of my favourite circuits, but we're reasonable there. So yeah, we're hoping for the best today and just to bring it home, and obviously hoping for 2 wins. Yeah, Mark's second quickest, and I've obviously got a lot more experience around here than him, but he seems to be going quicker and quicker, so I'm guessing he's going to be there in the race. We hopefully it'll be a nice race again, obviously dicing with somebody, and I'm sure he'll be there.
For sure, we're looking for a big dice up front. Last minute adjustments, some gearing changes, maybe move the rear wheel further back, make the bike more stable in a straight line in the windy conditions. We'll be back right after the break with action from the SunBet ZX10 Masters Cup. Welcome back to the East London Grand Prix circuit. We are waiting for the SunBet ZX10R Masters Cup bikes to go out onto the circuit. The riders have been practicing for what seems like a week, but it's actually only been 2 days. Spectacular circuit with high top speeds. One of the fastest corners in the country. Potter's Pass will sort the men out from the boys. Good to have SunBet involved this year, and good to have Ian Harwood out there on track. He's riding the Bridgestone bike this time around. We've also had a good influx of Cape Townian riders this year, including Rob Cragg, the Fraz Fritz, but he's what we call the motorcycle limp, doesn't he? Teddy Brook, checking tyre pressures. They run them as low as possible to spread the rubber out on the ground when they get on the power. It's all about setup, and it's all about the starting grid. Graham from Mira, Michael Smith and Travis Nordia. That's your front row. Behind them, Teddy Brook, Rob Cragg and Johan Leroux, who I'm surprised is on track because he might be standing in the pensioners queue at the bank to get his monthly payment. Behind them, it'll be Gareth Besaidenout, Brian Bontekoning and Dave Entercott, also from Cape Town. Ian Harwood, Aubrey Marais and Lafraz Fritz, picking up row number 4. Riders come down. We're under starters' orders. Graham from Badar looks confident, waves to the cameraman, says, I'm ready for this. And joining me in the commentary booth is your voice of choice, Greg Maloney. Greg, not the hugest field we've seen in ZX10 Cup in recent years, but I think it's going to be pretty intense up front.
Yeah, competitive field, that's for sure, particularly the top two. You can see just how tight that championship rivalry is between Michael Smith and Graham van Breda. But look at the local man on the Buco Kawasaki on that front row. take Travis Nordia into your thoughts big time, because he is going to be fired up and looking to take on this field. Lights out, and we're on board with Michael Smith as they head down towards turn 1, Potter's Pass. It's a good start coming out of Graham Van Breda. Michael Smith's going to go. What a start from Harwood. Where did he come from?
He came from last Tuesday and he made it up to the front there.
What a start.
Harwood, that was a brilliant start from Ian Harwood. But out front, we'll look for Travis Nordia and Graham Van Breda fighting it out. I see quite a good start from David Endicott. Yeah, a bit further back. That's
Michael Smith
not
out
so
the
good
back.
for Michael Smith. I think
Not really
something
what
must
it
have happened there at the start with Michael.
Yeah,
on board is Rob Craig, going down into Cocobana. Ooh, out on the brakes. Back end, shattering ever so much as he lays it down on its side.
A nice one from the Mad Max Kawasaki as he comes right onto the tailpiece there of the Stefanudi Stocks Kawasaki of Van Breda. Then it's the Buco Kawasaki. Look at that, a superb start coming out of the local man Travis Nordia, and he's pushing hard to try and stay ahead of the Silver Surfer there. That's Teddy Brook, who's up in the 4th place as they come into the complex and into gate corner for the first time. Brook has opened up a little margin, and he's got ahead there of Brian Bontekoning. Brian Bontekoning, I think, fighting hard, if I'm not mistaken, with Michael Smith, who's trying to make up some ground.
Just behind them, Johan Leroux. Bad start from David Endicott, one of the pre-race favourites. Look at him going round the outside. He'll get better drive going up onto the Beacon Bend. But boy, he won't be happy with that start.
I wonder if he's got the gearing right. We saw him changing the chain earlier on, and maybe he's gone with a little bit of a change up there and it didn't quite work out. So off the line, it might not be good, but in the race, it probably come right.
Could well be, because you're looking for top speed down the straight. Oh, look at this. These two are battling for 2nd and 3rd place. I'm talking about Rob Craig and Travis Nordia. Van Breda is disappearing at the front of the field. He's got at least 2.5 bike lengths.
Yeah, for sure. And that's on this circuit, 2.5 bike lengths is a mile, because remember, you've got a lot of room to play. This is Craig's point of view. Oh, lovely stuff. On board as they pitch it into Potter's Pass, and now everything she's got. It's going to be close to 270 k's an hour as they exit this point of the circuit rifle range corner, and then it's hard on the brakes, banging it all the way down into 2nd gear.
So late on the brakes. Travis Nordia, he's famous for his late braking at this Cocobana Bend. Are they going to catch Van Breda? I don't think so at the moment. Van Breda looks like he's got this one wrapped up, but it's early days yet. On board with Rob Craig. Down the beach straight. Look at this. Also tricky down here because you've got a slight little kink before you get into the infield section. So we're going to go into gate corner, and you can see late apex, because what you want to do is flick the bike over to the left, grab 3rd gear, and start feeding the power on through this section.
You'll get helped out by the wind, Dave, because as you come out of there, ask Linsella, he'll tell you all about that. You come into that, and the wind just picks the bike up almost instantaneously. You've actually got to fight it to keep it pinned onto the left-hand side as you go through there. So it's a battle with the conditions, a battle with the bike, a battle with your arch rivals on circuit. Gap closing slightly. Look at the late braking into Beacon here from Travis. Oh, he's on it. He's in.
Travis Nordia has got a lot of confidence on the front wheel of that motorcycle. Van Breda, well, Nordia looks over his shoulder and Van Breda says, okay, let's see who's got the fastest bike down the straight. With the wind howling across them, slipstream is so important. Let's take a look at the start from Michael Smith's point of view. Just listening, because he did bog down, Greg. Listen here. No, it didn't grab a gear. It stuck. So the quick shifter stuck. And Harwood charging up the inside. Boy, that is an amazing start from him. There's Brian Bontekoning also going by. So Michael Smith had 2 takes at getting that 2nd gear, and you can just see the result of that.
Yeah, he's got a lot of work to do now, and he's not quite there just yet. As they come into the complex one more time, Bontekoning on the Jag Power Products machine doing a superb job there, running high at a circuit that he loves, and looking for an opportunity to be, of course, high up in his own class. There are 3 categories that race here as well, not just for the overall. You've got the Masters, the Veterans, and the Grandmasters all fighting for honours, and they're all doing a superb job. As you said, a small field, but it's quality.
On the brakes into the famous Beacon Bend. The trick here is to pick the bike up as soon as you can, get on the power, and squirt it down the main straight. Johan Leroux just ahead, looking for the toe down that straight. These 3 are hard at it as they go down towards the infamous Potter's Pass at around about 240, 250 k's an hour. Teddy Brook, very cautious this time around. Does look like Johan Leroux is closing up ever so slightly there. And David Endicott in the mix as well.
But coming along for the ride, Endicott not too far left yet. Still got to catch Brian Bontekoning, but as you can see now from Michael Smith's point of view, let's see what he's like on the brakes down towards Cocobana. It's the 2 elderly statesmen that are fighting for honours here up the road, and he closes in on them. He's going to be fired up in that helmet. I can tell you, he's probably kicking himself for a mistake like that, and of course with that not necessarily being his own mistake, but a mechanical failure that doesn't quite select that gear on time, and it dropped him almost down to 10th place.
Look how bumpy it is as they come down here. You've got to wind up the steering damper as much as possible on the brakes. JLR, Johan Leroux, goes through on the brakes. That's what he's famous for. And you'll see he probably goes second quicker in the second race because he normally wakes up later in the day.
He does, yes. Michael Smith trying to do the same thing now on the hard-charging Teddy Brook. And the Silver Surfer, of course, is doing such a good job there on that Brook refrigeration Kawasaki.
Little bit wide as they come out of there. So Smith will have the drive as they come up to Beacon. Yes, he is. And he's going to be late from the brakes as well. So now he's got JLR in his sights. Michael Smith charging through the field. Looking at the lap times, he's not far off the pace of the leaders. So it's such a great pity he didn't get that start.
Speaking of the leaders, they head down towards Potters one more time, and it's still the man out front from Bucco, Kawasaki and East London, Travis Nordia, leading things out over Graham Van Breda. Van Breda this season has not been betted on a number of occasions, so to have somebody in front of him, he must be thinking to himself, oh, he's got a good pace, I'll run with him. The problem is, can he find a way past him? We know how good Travis is on the brakes.
Okay, just further back from them is Rob Craig. Listen to him on the brakes. He bangs it down into second gear. There's a bit of a dip here. The trick is go through this dip, and then as the bike unloads, you get hard on the power and go down that beach straight. Further back through the field, you can see Michael Smith has already pulled a gap over Teddy Brook, and just behind him, Dave Entercott. Unusual for him to be that far back.
Yeah, Entercott is coming through the field though. Here's Smith. Whoa!
Something wrong there.
Something went wrong there. I think that might have been Garrett Poseidon. Poseidon slowing up ever so slightly down the beach straight and just getting passed rapidly by the hard-charging bike coming flying past him. Back to the front end. We've got to change up. It's back to the front once again there for Graham Van Breda, but has he got enough to keep out Travis Nordia? Travis Nordia's got 3 opportunities to overtake. One is down at Cochabana, the other one is up here towards Beacon. We know how good he was. Can he do it again? This is coming into the closing stages here, and of course they're coming up on the back end. That's Lafras Fritz. He's not going to survive. He's going to have to do 1 lap less because these two are going to catch him. Oh, foot out there from Van Breda. Look at the different lines that Travis is able to take. He's very comfortable on his home circuit.
Travis Nordia is really taking any line he wants. And a slight wheelie there as we go into the last lap. Has he lost a bit of a gap? Graham Van Breda might have just pulled out, yes, half a bike length. In fact, 2 bike lengths as they come across Lafras Fritz for the overtake and put him 1 lap down. Through this very fast part of the track, rifle at around about 250 k's per hour. Lafras Fritz up on the inside goes Van Breda, and likewise for Travis Nordia. Down towards Cochabana. We know Travis is good on the brakes as they head to this section of the track, and he's up on the inside. Got the front end completely compressed. Graham Van Breda takes a classic line, but is he going to squirt it up on the inside as they go down the back straight?
No, he's not, because look at that. Nordia went almost instantaneously to the right-hand side. He's going to give Graham Van Breda. No, Van Breda just goes past on the power. Wow, fantastic drive out of Cochabana, and he retakes the lead again. Now they're going to gate, and it's Travis on the inside. Yes, he bangs it into gate corner. Brilliant stuff there from Travis Nordia. This is a fantastic battle. Van Breda has not been in a fight like this for a long time.
Championship-wise, don't forget, Travis Nordia is not really in the championship. So Graham Van Breda not too worried about this because he realises he's still getting maximum points on the day. Michael Smith, not a great start as we saw. He's probably going to end up in the top 5 maybe. But hang on, we come to the last corner. Graham Van Breda might be making a plan. Travis Nordia just runs up the inside. Van Breda hangs his leg out, waves to the marshals there with his right leg.
Yeah, he's just saying hi. As they come to the line, though, it's Nordia with the win. First win of the day, and he's going to be ecstatic about this. The Bucco boys from East London are going to love him forever. A win at your home circuit is definitely the way you want to start the day's racing. I wonder if he can come back later on today and see if he can do the double. There's the official results. Nordia taking it from Graham Van Breda, Robert Craig and Michael Smith eventually up into the top 4. Dave Entercott as well into the top 5, ahead of Leroux, Brook, Pontekonen, Marais and Harwood. Let's catch up with your race 1 winner now, Travis Nordia on the Bucco Kawasaki.
In Heat 1, I had a okay start. 3rd into the first turn. I think I got 2nd on the first lap, and I just hung behind Graham for a while. We passed quite a lot in the whole race. It was really tight racing, races that we dream of. And on the last lap, I got him into the S's, and I managed to keep him behind me. And got a 1st in Heat 1, so I'm stoked.
Don't forget to enter the online competition on the Facebook page. You can win 2 nights at an international hotel, some hampers, and some free bets, but it's for a limited period of time only.
Welcome back to East London for the SunBet ZX10R Masters Cup, part of the Extreme Festival series of racing brought to you by MSA in South Africa. The wind has been howling all day. I don't think we're going to see any lap records broken today in the SunBet ZX10R Masters Cup, but we're still going to have some fabulous racing as the riders prepare themselves for race number 2. Teddy Brook had a good run in the first heat. particularly at the beginning of the race. He dropped back a little bit towards the end, and his arch rival on the Avidan bike is going to be Johan Leroux. Maybe some more gearing changes. Look at the wind, it's howling directly behind the riders now, Greg, as they go down towards the starting line.
I'm sure Dave Endicott is going to change that gearing up because it didn't work for him off the line. Let's see whether or not the gearbox is going to work for Michael Smith off the line as well. He had an absolutely atrocious start in the first one. And he definitely wants to be in the hunt at the front. And he's going to be taking on Graham Van Breda and race 1 winner Travis Nordia on the front row.
Michael's quick shifter, we know he had a problem as he pulled off on that race number 1. Right, we're going to see the red lights go out and race number 2 will commence here. SunBet ZX10 R Masters Cup. Our championship leader, bike number 1 on the Stephanie Stocks Kawasaki on the inside there, Graham Van Breda. Doesn't look like Hardwood got such a hard start this time around.
I was going to say, we cursed him, I think. He fluffed it in the second one, but he was phenomenal. He was like Gary McCoy in the first race. He's down in second last at this stage, been pushing hard, and a much better start coming out of both Dave Endicott and Michael Smith. Rob Craig fighting hard as well. Look at that side by side. How was Teddy Brook off the line? Teddy Brook is 3rd place overall going into Rifle on lap 1.
Brook is absolutely flying, but you can see on the brakes Michael Smith diving up on the inside with Travis Nordia. Travis Nordia and Michael Smith are looking up the front there and they're thinking, hang on, this time around we're going to fight it out. Michael Smith will be happy with that start. Travis Nordia, great to see that South African flag on the screen of his bike. Fabulous footage we've got going, and look at that bike into the red line as they come down into the complex section.
That was 290 k's an hour on the beach straight.
Well, we know speedos do overread slightly, but still it's up over the 280 mark anyway, and that is absolutely flying on one of these bikes around the track. There's Ian Harwood with the brightly coloured leathers on the TRP Bridgestone bike. I think he's been a little bit put off by the wind as well. Ian likes it to conditions to be perfect before he really puts his head down.
Putting his head down at the front end, though, is Graham Van Breda trying to open up a bit of a margin that he can control over Travis Nordia, which has not been easy. Nordia again on the brakes into Beacon, and on the brakes from Michael Smith to close in on Robert Craig. Nice move there from Bontekoning, slightly higher up than what he was in race number 1. He's in between JLR and Teddy Brooks, so getting into the mix there with those guys. And just behind them, it's Dave Endicott. So the field is a lot closer than what it was in race 1.
They're getting used to the conditions, aren't they, as they go down towards that famous Potter's Pass. Johan Leroux likes this part of the track. Teddy Brook, what a great start for him, though. Brian Bontekoning resplendent with those new leathers of his. I think they're those massed leathers.
And he's got a bit of a fight on there, as you can see, between those 4 riders he's in the mix with. And speaking of the fight, Harwood was closing in on Aubrey Murray. Michael Smith, yes. Well done. 49 versus 46 this time out. It's Smith that wins out that battle into Cochabana.
Rob Craig slips down a place as we go on board with Travis Nordia. Let's see that speedo winding its way up to 290 k's per hour. Quick shifter working as he comes down into the kink, back down 2 gears, and they'll be in 3rd gear, maybe even 2nd, but probably 3rd gear as they flick it left.
Flick it left, flick it right, come through the complex, and then back left again to exit the complex. Michael Smith ahead now and trying to get that gap closed down to the top 2. I don't know if he's going to have enough time. What he's going to battle with here is the windy conditions. Working together like we're seeing, and they're not really working together, but Nordia and Van Breda will be kind of working together and getting away. Well, now the problem that Michael Smith has, he's on his own.
He's in no man's land. He is stuck there. Slipstream City doesn't work for him this time around. Travis Nordia is able to slipstream Graham Van Breda down the straight with that tailwind, probably quite close to 300 k's an hour, to be perfectly honest.
And look at how the wind has changed. It's straight down the straightaway now as well, Dave. So when they go to Potters at the roll-off point, a massive moment. Look at that big wheelie from Rob Craig. He is fighting that Kawasaki to keep it down. And in fact, he actually got great drive despite the wheelie, and he gets through on Michael Smith towards Potters. Where did that come from?
Well, I'll tell you what, Craig now looking up the road thinking, hang on, maybe we can catch Travis Nordia and Graham Van Breda at the front of this field.
If they start to fight, they're going to slow each other down. That's what they're hoping, but they're not. Van Breda is trying to keep that gap manageable. He's got 3 bike lengths over Travis Nordia, but of course, Nordia can close that down within the space of 1 corner. Now as they come under braking, Teddy Brook also keeping that gap between himself and Johan Leroux. Endicott is closing though. Endicott, I think, has got through on Brian Bontekoning, and there could be a change up there in the very near future with him and Teddy Brook as well.
Travis Nordia making plans. Look how he takes a wider line. You're going to climb up towards Beacon Bend, and we go on board with him here. Feeds the power on gently, and now he takes it to maximum revs all the way through. Does he go up on the inside of Graham Van Breda? We've seen him do this in the past, yes. Ooh, late on the brakes. See the front end of the bike bouncing. Does he make the corner? Yes, he does. Holds the curb, picks it upright, and squirts it down the main straight.
Hopefully we stay on with a little bump. There's the bump. There it is. There's the little lift. Oh, that was proper cool. Love that. The onboard there over that little bump coming onto the main straightaway. And you can see just how hard Rob Craig had to work. Let's see him now as he comes through there. As they go across the line, you can see they're going to be fighting hard. And now with Travis Nordia at front, he's pulled 2-3 bike lengths ahead of Van Breda. So the roles are reversed.
Famara seems a little bit quicker through this rifle bend. See how he closes up there? He's got that one taped, that's for sure. Can you do something on the brakes? So Travis goes all defensive on the brakes. Going Famara, nowhere to go. Stops that Kawasaki. The Stefan stocks bike looking stable on the brakes. Now, does he get the undercut? Does he go back to the inside? Nordia, a little glance over his shoulder as we go on board with him down this beach straight. And listen to this Kawasaki as it screams its way down there.
Oh, lovely, lovely. Oh, and there you see him up the inside. Van Breda did squeeze him out. Into gate corner, Van Breda retakes the lead. They go into the complex. It's chopping and changing. Now it's a bit of a chess game. Who's going to have what it takes to make that final move and make it stick before the flag comes out? They've tested each other's mettle here on various occasions. It's going to be very close.
I think it's going to come down to this beacon bend on the last lap, this very final corner, as they head up here. And Graham from
in a moment there.
Slip there. He had a slip there. Graham from out of the seat. That's what the wind's doing. It allows Travis Nordia to come up on the brakes once more. From lets him through, but does he get the undercut once again? He's been doing it with success in the past. No, they both head. Notice they come to this side of the track because the wind is buffeting him on the outside of the circuit. As they go over that bump, you don't want wheelies right now. Okay, Travis Nordia is all defensive. This gives Famara a chance to maybe slingshot past him down to Kokobana.
Going to set that up as they go through rifle. He closed right on him the last time. Look at how he closes. Dave, it's incredible to see how he closes there. Just runs the corner speed of that Kawasaki ZX10 like a ZX6. He just manages to fly through there and keep that corner speed going. Now he's got to get on the brakes. Is he good enough? No, he's not. This time it's Travis Nordia who hangs on. But we know what the squirt is like on that Stefan stocks bike here on the beach straight. And we've seen it on a few occasions where he's able to squeeze past.
Travis Nordia hanging off the inside. The wind is blowing them. Even the keyring is going off to the left-hand side. So he's hanging on the inside. And Graham Famara goes past once more. This is unbelievable. One of the best races we've seen this year. We've seen races with Famara at the front with Michael Smith. Now he's got another contender. Smith is just behind him down the road by about 6 seconds at the moment. Look at the wind howling in the background there as they come down Brian Bontekoning into Kokobana Bend. Great style from Brian Bontekoning. Loving his bike here.
Endicott has got through on him though as well, and he's looking to close things down on LaRue and Brook, but I don't think there's going to be enough time. They're coming up with a lap and one corner to go. They're back onto the back end of Lafris.
Famara on the brakes.
Oh, big move there.
Take that. Graham Famara's got this one taped. He seems to have sussed out the braking situation with Travis Nordia, the local man with the local knowledge. Does that say last lap? Yes, it does. We're on the last lap of this race. We've got 25 points to count and 20 for second. So it's first and second we're dicing at the moment. Travis Nordia is a little bit back. Graham Famara, this part of the track, we know this is where he seems to be the fast corners, where he's really strong.
How does he get that bike through there that quickly and maintain that corner speed? As I said, it's kind of 600cc-esque that he's able to get out of that ZX10. Now Lafris Fritz going to try and put Fritz between himself. Oh no, he's not quite close enough. Lafris hangs on for one more corner. He'll squeeze past him on the beach straight. And we go on board now with Travis Nordia.
Listen to it. He's screaming that thing. Rear wheel spin as they came out of Kokobana.
Buko Ganubi, ZX10, absolutely everything she's got now. Can he find a way through that? Lafris Fritz have just gone past on. Can he find a way through though? No, he's not close enough to Van Breda. They're into the complex. There's only one more opportunity. It's Buko corner. It's not Beacon.
Beacon Bend, yeah. Beacon Bend coming up because now Travis, what he's going to do is going to fring it all the way to the left and then crank it right. See that?
Yeah.
So now he can get a drive up on the inside of Graham Famara. He's done this in the past. So has he got the drive? A little bit far back. I don't think he's going to be able to do it. And Graham Famara goes all defensive as they come down to that final bend of this final race of the final day in East London.
Can you believe that? There was a final gap that was about a ZX10 size.
And finally we come down to the checkered flag.
You do indeed, and it's going to be a double on the day. Look at this, to the line, the drag race is on, and it is Nordia just beating Van Breda to the line. He is the most ecstatic man there. Oh, almost Valentino Rossi-esque. He does run a Rossi helmet on that bike, so he's going to be absolutely blown away with the double win today at his home track.
0.003 of a second as they came over that finish line. Let's take a look at the official results. Travis Nordia double on the Buko Ganubi class bike. Graham Famara second. Michael Smith, Rob Craig, Teddy Brook, Johan LaRue, David Endicott, Brian Bontekoning having a great run there in the Masters. Let's catch up with Stefan Stocks rider Graham Famara.
Yeah, look, in heat one, I pulled off the line, and obviously because we had put brand new rubber on for that heat, I took it a little bit tentatively with this wind. In 20-something, 30 years of racing, I've never ever ridden in such wind like this, and it was really harsh out there. The bars were basically being ripped out of our hands. And the problem is the speeds are so high here at East London, so a normal circuit, if you're doing 120 and that happens, it's not an issue, but if you're doing 280, 270 kilometers an hour, it's a bit of a problem. And I took it a little bit tentatively, and Travis took advantage of it, and fantastic ride from him. He rode really well, and I couldn't really do anything about him going up the inside because I couldn't break any later. And then second heat, I thought, well, I've got him. I can, if I can pull a bit of a gap, which I did on the second last lap, I think. But I had a massive moment coming up the hill towards, I think it's Beacon, and he managed to close the gap down and once again planted up my inside. I thought he couldn't stop, but he managed to get a stopped and turn. It was basically a drag race to the line, but he rode excellently, and I did my best today, and that's all I could really do.
Double on the day for Travis Nordia, and what a move to get that second win.
In Heat 2, I decided to change my game plan because Graham obviously knew what my game plan was from race 1. So I just went on the cup while I was out there, and I tried to do the same thing, roughly, but on the second last lap I made a mistake and there was a big gap. So I had to catch him on the last lap, and I managed to just outbrake him in the last corner on the last lap. We had a drag to the line and I just pipped him on the line, so I'm stoked about that.
Championship points heading into round 5. It's Van Breda at the top for the SunBet ZX10 Masters Cup, ahead of Michael Smith and Rob Craig. Enticott in 4th place. Nordia has moved himself up into the top 5 after a great outing at the East London Grand Prix circuit. The win overall for Class B goes to Graham Van Breda, and it was a shared honours there between him and Travis Nordia for overall victory. Great effort from him to win Class A. And if you get onto the SunBet ZX10R Facebook page, you too can stand a chance to win some valuable money, as well as 2 nights accommodation, courtesy of Sun International.
All this SunBet ZX10 Masters Cup action is energized by Red Square.